Welcome. Incoming message.
This is the May Contain Action podcast
on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and more.
3, 2, 1, 0. All systems active.
Welcome to episode 59 of the May Contain Action podcast. This show is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below the belt grooming. Manscaped offers an immaculate body shaving experience. I am your host, number 2, obviously, Trevor May, aka IamTrevorMay, and as always, I am joined by my friend and colleague, ActionJaxon, aka Paul. Hey, Paul.
Hello. Hey, we're colleagues?
Yeah, we're in biz together. We're business partners.
Huh.
We bring people the important news about content creators.
Super important news about stumbling over our own words.
Hey.
You know, I recently heard on this is just a side note on Lord of the Rings when Pippin, I believe, gives his fealty to the King of Gondor. Or no, I'm sorry, it's when Mary becomes an esquire of Rohan, and I was like, esquire. It's like, I want to be an esquire. How do people become esquires? I don't want to like swear fealty to anyone, but I want to be an esquire. Be a colleague and an esquire. That's where my brain went today.
What?
Yep.
Where did that? By the way, just another weird fun fact, also related to Lord of the Rings. You know that part where they're outside of Fangorn Forest and they're like, "Yo, can't we just eat these, little whatever they are, the little hobbits?" And they're like, "No, they want them, for whatever, to question." And then, they get in an argument, and then they get one of the orcs. They're like, "Meat's back on the menu, boys." Ever thought about why an orc knows what a menu is?
Huh.
Why would he say that?
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. There's plenty of pubs and taverns.
They don't
and
have
whatnot.
menus in the far.
It was like 4 things. It was like you had the stew or the pot pie pick.
Yeah, like there's cheesecake factories in Middle Earth. Okay.
I said, all right, you're ridiculous.
They don't know what a menu is. Come on. It's a conundrum. Just be with me on this.
It's a very reasonable explanation.
So that was just absolutely nothing to do with anything. But moving on, I just also want to point out that I completely crushed that beginning part for the first time in months.
Yeah, I know you didn't mess up.
We haven't messed up in a while. We haven't messed up in 2 whole weeks technically because there was no episode last week. Thank you. But remember, before we gotta introduce our guest who has been standing patiently right outside of the digital door to the digital studio we are in.
I'm in the wings.
Yeah,
he's speaking his head in right now.
He keeps speaking and just saying stuff. We need you to know that you could be on the podcast. We will hear this week's person later in the show, but
yes,
you can be on the pod. Paul, dang it,
you can be on me.
Okay,
if you want. Call this number for fun.
Stop. Call this number for fun.
Call this number for love.
You can call and leave him or leave a message.
Yeah.
Call and leave a message or text. Jesus.
What's the number, Trevor?
503-908-9526. Leave your question. You may make the episode. Again, that number is 503-908-9526. But now let's get to meeting our guest. If this podcast were a world, that world would revolve around our guest. So he is a father. He is a partnered streamer on Twitch. And according to his Twitter profile, he is a sellout, self-proclaimed.
Oh, and do what you got to do.
McLaffyTaffy is here. I cannot wait to hear about all your sellouty stuff. McLaffyTaffy!
Our show revolves around McLaffyTaffy. That's when you short the stock.
Sorry, I had to.
Boy, it looks so much worse with me up here now because it's two young, like athletic content creators, and then there's me, and it looks like you invited your Uber driver in to be on the show. Like, it's so brutal.
I don't know if you do this, but the average listener is probably your senior, so in age. So this is definitely a boomer podcast. You are in the correct place. You took the right turn.
I'm getting
100%.
less and less nervous the more I hear it described.
Yeah, no, I was
it's great.
very excited to have you on. I'm excited, honestly, to have any boomer on because it's just like we get it. Like we get it. Like we understand. There's a level of understanding. When these kids come on here and all they talk about is cranking 90s and sweating, I don't know. I can't relate. You know what I mean?
I've got nothing for it. No,
sweating. I can relate to sweating, standing up, walking.
That's true.
Looking, breathing. Yeah, all those things.
I was on meat stick number 9 earlier today, and I broke into a pretty hearty sweat too. So
meat stick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also, you get one of those when you call the number 503-908-9526. A little supple meat stick. Well, Ryan, we want to get to know you as we do with all of our guests. So, McLaffyTaffy, very obvious name and in your face. How did you come upon this name? And how have you not gotten sued for McLaffyTaffy yet? How has that not been a lawsuit?
So it was.
Has no one protected you? It
was a fake argument with my wife when we got married. We were living in Philly.
Yes.
And it was just the first dipshit name that I could think of. And I said something like, we'd been married like a month and I was already testing things. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to name our first son McLaffyTaffy Caps. And like, I don't even know. It's just some stupid thing to pick a fight with. And then she was just like, well, I'll track down a really great divorce lawyer. We probably are still under warranty. Like the dealership will take you back. And so
get this annulled real quick.
Yeah. So like we were broke and living in Philadelphia and like just having a good time. We were in our 20s and just kind of being in a city. So that meant that like we had no cable. We had no, like, there was no real streaming options. So the only thing that I knew to do was to go find, like, I found a card for a Xbox Online Gold membership for like a month that came with some like envelope my mom sent me.
Okay, hot dog, jackpot.
And when I logged in and said, you know, I cashed in on the 1 month card, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll play some online games. I've got nothing else to do. And it asked me for a name, and that stupid name was still floating around in the back of my head. So I was like, yeah, sure, McLaffyTaffy. And, you know, flash forward, Jesus, like 12 years after the fact, and it's on like shirts and stuff now. So
I saw merch with it on there.
Yeah, I've got merch with it on there now. And I've not gotten sued because technically, as far as trademark and copyright infringement goes, there are like a bunch of different spaces in which you can own a copyright. And so they've got food and drink, and I've got like the entertainment space. So actually, if they came in and started doing like performance oriented stuff, I might have grounds, albeit not like the legal firepower, but I would have grounds to be like, I was here first.
Yeah. So that's actually a nuance I didn't realize until Noah kind of told me. Our mutual friend, Noah, my lawyer friend of the show, my lawyer friend, that you can do a copyright with different sections. Because I always wondered, like, you know, you're walking down the street and you see like Al's Pizza, and you're like, how many Al's Pizzas are there? So it's like also by like region and what style of business you're doing. Yeah, if it's like Al's Pizza Production Company, totally fine. Safe.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like, you know, I asked that question before this became like a job, like a bona fide, I need to get accountants and financial planners kind of job.
Yeah.
Because if I had to do rebranding, I wanted to do it early rather than do it late. And
absolutely.
Oh yeah. A lot of content creators fall into that trap. And they're like, no, I'm stuck with it. So
it's like it was Nestle when I first started this thing. I kept tabs on it. It's like watching to make sure my assassin's not coming out of the shadows. Is that it was Nestle, and now it's Ferrero Rocher that owns like the Willy Wonka brands, and so I'm always keeping an eye on them. But from what I'm told, I'm safe.
One of these days they'll come after you.
One of these
Nestle
days.
sold Laffy Taffy?
Yeah, it belongs to European company Ferrero Rocher now.
Ferrero Rocher. Did they buy Nestle by chance? Did this happen? We don't even know. It's just like some Belgian company owns Nestle, and that's why
there was somebody that happened with. It was like some crazy, like, you know, flag waving beer swilling American brand that got purchased up by some European conglomerate. I'm struggling to think of what that is now, but
and of course,
that happened.
We all panic because that's what we do to other countries. They don't do that.
By God!
Us.
Oh,
you hear me, Tim Hortons? They're owned by Burger King now, aren't they?
What? How does Burger King have enough money to buy anything?
I don't know.
This is trash.
No one's buying Whoppers.
Place is ass.
Place is ass.
I think I nailed that right there, Kevin.
Shit was ass.
So we can go ahead and
Fantastic.
cancel the Manscaped's going to stick around. Burger King's not going to pick up the podcast anytime soon.
Yeah,
probably
no,
not.
no.
Yeah, actually, hey,
No.
hey, great point. Whoppers are great.
Can't backtrack.
Bring
now.
back chicken fries.
Got to reach out for that Whataburger
I'm just
sponsorship.
kidding. I am actually a big fan of. I just like fast food in general. I
know.
I think we know that about me at this point.
We certainly do. Well, McLaffyTaffy, what was your first name, by the way? We ask everybody. What was your first online presence name?
God, my
McLaffyTaffy
first
feels like
online
it should be
presence?
the first one, but yeah,
Shit,
what was your
man.
first one?
That's going to date me.
What's the first
hell
one you
yeah.
can remember?
Holy shit. Cool name 12.
Shut your mouth.
On MIRC.
Shut your butt, dude. That
What?
is-
On MIRC on like internet cafe chat, like MIRC. I was
Pre-aim,
cool name
guys.
12, just hanging out in these little like teenage channels when the internet was fresh and new and over a dial-up modem.
This is pre-browser,
Exciting.
guys. This is pre-browser. You had to go over into your little console, and you had to. Okay, no, that's not true, but it would have been funny if it was.
Spin the wheel with your arm and
That's the
elbow
the
grease.
the computer was gas powered and a pull start, and you had to use it in a well ventilated area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Cool name
outstanding.
12.
Cool name 12. You're very edgy, you know?
I don't even know what the 12 stood for because I wasn't 12 when I made it. I don't think. I'm not sure. I don't even know what the number stands for. It's been that long now.
Outstanding. That's pretty good. That's a
Just your
good first
favorite
name.
hockey player's name or number, and you just forgot that you like hockey.
Yeah,
at
it
some
might have
point in your
been
life.
like
Yeah.
favorite wide receiver for the Cowboys or something, and now I can't even remember who it was. Cool. Yeah, cool
Oof.
names 1 through 11 were taken.
I hate that. I hate that. It's my worst. It's the worst thing when you try all 10, and then you get to the one you finally can have. You're like, finally. It's just you know how many emails I just went through.
Dude, my first email was Boise Tiger at Hotmail because it was my college or it was my high school mascot in the city I was living in. But it made me sound very much like in 25 years I'm going to hit on you uncomfortably at a nightclub when you're half my age. Like, ooh, Boise Tiger. It's like a vanity plate for a guy who tries to ask you how much, and you're like, I'm not a prostitute, sir. And he's like, everyone's got their price. Like, it's such a greasy, gross, nasty ass
That's a
name.
greasy name.
That's
20
a
bucks is
greasy
20
name.
bucks. Mm.
I send all my spam mails to that one still.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because emails don't go away.
No.
Right. Like a fine wine, you keep them forever. I may have KHS, which is my high school, in the one that everything's funneled to, but I don't use it anymore for anything. But it's still the one I log into because everything, like I have like 7 emails forwarded to this one. So, but I'm just like, I hope no one finds out.
I went and found a
What
website
this
one
was.
time that told me how many times that particular email account had been hacked, and it was like 35, and I was like, that's fine. It was some insane number. Like
That's
one
fine.
that I kind of use had been hacked like 4 times, and I was like, okay, well, I'll change the password on that one. But it was
Yeah.
like, oh, well, your old college email's been hacked like 35 times, mostly by Russians, and I was like, they can have it. It's
Yeah,
Whatever.
At this point, it's just spam.
we're gonna know when my Kroger rewards card is really filled up and I need to spend the points on gasoline before they expire. Good for you. I enjoy, Ivan. It's all yours.
Enjoy Russia.
Enjoy, Mikhail.
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 That's
All
pretty good.
yours.
Okay, so McLaffyTaffy 12. You said this was Xbox Gold too. This was like
Damn.
this is way back, right? When
Yeah,
you
this is
made
on the
McLaffyTaffy.
360. Yeah.
Okay, so when did you discover streaming first time then? Like when did you
So-
see it for the first time? Then when did you decide, hey, these guys aren't even funny. I can do this.
I'll do like the Cliff Notes version of it because this is truly over a decade now.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was mostly just like I have a theater degree. I was trying to make it as an actor in Philadelphia. The only game that I played for a really long time was just WoW on my laptop, and then I had a
Hell yeah.
PlayStation 2 for just God of War. Like those were the 2 things that I gave a shit about.
Mm.
I was waiting tables in Philly. I was getting acting roles. I was living like paycheck to paycheck. I moved back to Richmond, Virginia, which is where I live now with my wife. And we came back here is where we met. We were going to start a family. I got invited out to a buddy's house, a guy who's like half my age. And he's like, hey, you want to come play like console video games? And I was like, dude, I haven't plugged in like a console for anything in a long time. Sure, what do you got? He's like, I got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Oh,
I was like, right. And I was just like, well, that's a real long title. But yeah, sure, I'll come play. And I was like, I don't mean to like pat myself on the back. I know Doc says it a bunch, but I actually did win my Blockbuster tournament up in Twin Falls, Idaho. I'll have you know.
Did you really?
I did for the 12-year-old class, like it was like the 12 and up class for Super Nintendo.
Damn. They call you the one time?
They I wish. Nobody sticks around long enough to come up with cool nicknames for me, but if they did, they could call me the one time. The funny thing about that is that they gave me the certificate and they gave me the wrong one, and I still have it. And it says Ruger Hebert. Congratulations, Ruger Hebert. And I guess Ruger's out there with a certificate from Blockbuster that says congratulations, Ryan Capps. But screw it. I won that certificate, so I kept it. It's still at my parents' house in Meridian, Idaho.
Idaho. What a small world. I have a aunt-in-law that lives in Meridian.
Oh, no shit.
Interesting. I was there for Thanksgiving. Meridian.
I would have liked to have been. I'm going there the moment I get stuck with the vaccine. I'm taking my happy ass up to Meridian. So
awesome.
Right. So I go to this guy's house and I was like, I'll play some COD. I was like, I don't mean to, I'm going to warn you. I used to be pretty good at video games. And he's like, oh, cool. I was just going to play some online multiplayer maps. I got fucking destroyed for just an entire night. I just got jackhammered for like 90 minutes. And so like my discovery of the online world was me going to YouTube. The minute I got back from his house, I went onto YouTube and I was like, how play COD good, enter. And from there, I found like the blossoming early stages of like Machinima and Respawn.
Yeah.
And like Hutch and Nanners and all those guys. And I was like,
what year do you think this was?
Like 2008, 2009.
Okay. All right.
Damn.
And so I started like
baseball.
Yeah.
My back hurts. Anyway, continue.
Trevor.
Yeah, so I found like Hutch and Nanners and all those guys, and I was like, this is not what I expected. I expected people to tell me, hey, this is how you be good at the video game, but I didn't expect it to be so like radio DJ sort of personality driven. And I didn't even know how you captured content. I was like, are they pointing a phone at the TV? How are they? It was like black magic.
They had a hog.
Yeah, that was just like some sort of weird eldritch magic that made that happen. And so I got really enamored with it. And at one point in time, I was playing video games with a 19-year-old Canadian kid, and we kept showing up. I was waiting tables. He was in school, but we were getting better at the game at the same time and just kind of kept pairing up together. Mm-hmm. And I said, I was like, oh man, this is like a Machinima moment. And he's like, oh shit, do you watch Respawn? And I was like, I do. And we started talking back and forth about who we liked and who we didn't. And he was like, oh, well, I've got a capture card, but I just wouldn't know how to get started. And I was like, we should make some stuff, because we were kind of complaining that like the stuff that was going on to Respawn was all this like crazy masturbatory 135 in one quadruple nuke stuff set to EDM. And we were just like,
sorry. Did you use the word masturbatory?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he said enamored earlier too.
Hold on.
He also mentioned some sort of magic.
I'll class this place up. You can't slow me down.
Some sort of magic. He also mentioned some sort of magic.
Anyway, masturbatory, got it.
Right.
That in the back pocket.
It was, it had moved away from like a lot of like the really cool personality driven stuff that we really enjoyed, and was moving into like this real back clapping EP, type stuff that we weren't really interested in. And I was like, well, if we're going to sit here and talk shit about it, we should make something better. Like we should back that up. We shouldn't just talk shit. And I clearly didn't understand how the internet worked. I was like, we shouldn't talk shit without trying to make a better contribution.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the thoughts that I held in my pretty little head back then. You summer child. So I was like, yeah, let's try it. And I said, the only point of contention I would have is that if we're going to go after this, let's kind of treat it like a part-time job. Like, let's really attack it. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'm in. So I was like writing scripts in my like little book while I was waiting tables. If I didn't have any tables, I was like writing scripts on the waiter's notepad. And when I get done, I come back and kiss my wife on the forehead, and then I go get into a Skype call, and we would just be sitting there in like iMovie in the very beginning, cutting stuff up. And we started posting stuff in early 2011. And one night when he wasn't paying attention, I submitted us to like the Machinima Directors Program, and they accepted us. And we had a weekly episodic that we did with them called Passive Aggression, where we decided that if we were so sick of seeing these guys, like we heard stories about guys that were like, I run with my friends, and my friends are not allowed to run kill streaks that aren't like UAVs and orbital VSATs. I get the kills because I'm the one making the clip. And it's like, it was real douchey. So
that's a douchey.
Every week we started doing a show called Passive Aggression, where we would win games like domination without killing anybody. And then we cut it up to music and make it into like a hip hop music video. And so like people would,
amazing.
It was so counterculture to what was going on, because like the guys, like the other team would lose and they'd be like, oh my God, I got 35 kills. You guys are terrible. And we're like, you lost the game to people who didn't kill you. And they're like, yeah, but you don't understand. Like I got so many kills that game. And I was like, bro, we didn't shoot back. Like, and you still lost. And it was great. It became like Content Creator Saturday Night Live, where we just started having guests every week. We had Scene Anners, and we had Sark, and we had Hutch. God, we had KYR, Spuff 33D.
Wow.
God,
he's been around for a long time.
Yeah, no. I mean, like we've had guys that have gone on, like Dahi de Nogla. We had Nogla. I mean, Nogla came from our channel. Like Nogla put his first videos up on our channel because he just harassed us. He was like, he would call me on Skype and just be like, hey, Taffy. Hey, Taffy. We're like, what? Nogla, what? Taffy. Make me YouTube famous. Hey, Taffy. I was like, God damn, dude, I don't know how to do it. He was like, all right, well, if you think of something. I'm like, dude, I'll let you know. And obviously he figured it out on his own.
I think that's pretty.
He pieced it together just fine. Like we got to a point where like we contact people that we had been watching on Machinima, and we would say like, hey, do you want to be on Passive Aggression? Expecting most of the people to say no. And they'd come back and be like, dude, I've been waiting for you guys to get to us. Like, we've been waiting for your call. Let's do it. And so we did that for like a year.
That's a lot of how we feel about this podcast sometimes. When I ask people, I'm like, hey, would you like to be on the podcast? They're like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, I absolutely would love to be. And I'm like, do you know that we have a podcast? You know that we do that?
You're aware?
You know that we this is on our like 59th episode, or you knew we were doing this? Oh, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's where we made a lot of our of like the connections that, like, you know, I don't know if people realize how important it is that you know people in the industry.
Yes.
If you sincere, like everybody says they want to be a content creator, like everybody says they want to be an actor or world famous musician or a pro athlete. It's like everybody says they want to do that, but it's like they don't have the first idea of how you would start into it. I had to lob that in there. It's a big deal.
Happened, Paul.
You can shrug at it because you're in like a podcast with him and friends with him, but that's something else, man.
Nah, so, that's really he's fine.
Yeah, so like we came up through like the Machinima school, with a whole bunch of people like Beijing Canadian and RPM and Jerome ASF and Sunday and just a whole bunch of COD guys who went Minecraft and just printed money.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like it,
and then and like Nogla and all those guys went Gary's Mod, right?
And then after that, a whole bunch of guys spun off the other direction and went like Gary's Mod with like Nanners and all those guys, and clearly were killing it. And
wow.
That was like that started this place of like the hustle of like we were always chip on our shoulder. We were invited by somebody bigger to everything that we went to, and so we'd show up and have to like justify why we were there. And
oh my gosh, it's my whole life in this industry. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, it's like it's getting better. I'm getting to a point where I'm not like, you know, people are like, hey, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Taffy. And before you even ask, let me tell you why you might want to know why. Like, let me tell you why you don't know who I am.
Yeah, let me explain it. I need to explain. Let me explain. Let me explain. I was actually just super weird. Just a like a weird. It's weird that you said that the way that you just did, because my wife and I were just talking about this literally a half an hour ago. She was like, we were talking about TwitchCon, and I was there in 12, and our friend Callie's birthday's coming up. So I was like, oh yeah, I met Callie in 2018 at TwitchCon, and we were all just sitting at a table kind of off to the side, and I realized that I'd met nobody, knew no one at this event. It was like a Microsoft event. Marcel, basically I do work, was there, and Dr. Lupo, Sam Lupo was there too. So Sam was sitting with us, but Ben and they were all schmoozing. They were doing the thing they were supposed to do, and she was like, is it weird like going to somewhere where no one knows who you are at all? Because usually you're like at a baseball event or something, or whatever, and you're part of the team that's there. Was that right? I'm like, yeah, it was awesome. I loved it, but she was just like, yeah, because she went with me once, and she was just like the same thing. Everyone's like, okay, we get it, you play sports, but like, what do you do?
Right, like what justifies your existence?
Why are you here?
Yeah,
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who punched your golden ticket to get in here and have velvet ropes lifted for you and all that? Exactly. Yeah. I've had sometimes literal and sometimes like metaphorical hands put in my chest where it's like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm a partner. And they're like, yeah, we get that, but who are you? And I'm like, oh my god. Okay.
Yep.
Are you a partner though?
Are you a super secret A-tier partner? And I'm like, no. If you're confusing me with like Tim's uncle, then no, I'm not a partner.
100%. There's different tiers of partner for sure.
Yeah, I got turned away from a quote unquote like super secret TwitchCon partner party at the Padres Stadium at Petco last year.
Oh yeah.
I ended up sneaking in because I don't like being told no.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Wait, was that when Darude was there?
No, that was. Wait, was that Darude? Was Darude the one?
I remember Darude was at a TwitchCon. It was an outdoor baseball park, and they shut him down
great.
before 11.
That was Petco, and it was Steve Aoki, and then Darude was the headliner.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. And they had little partner sections off to the side. That was actually, speaking of Tim, I bumped into Tim there, and I just discovered his channel like in my own personal trip through Twitch. I was like, oh, it's Tim the Tatman. It was pretty cool. And I saw him and went up to him and said like, hey, you're Tim. And he's like, yeah, hey, what's going on, buddy? And I was like, oh, I just found your channel. It's great. Like he needed that pump of confidence from me. Like I was, he was like, all right, well, cool. Thanks, bro. And he walked off and I was like, I hope he keeps doing well.
That was nice.
That was a good party. This party, this last one at Petco was the one that Lil Nas X bowed out. And so we were all just kind of left twiddling our thumbs.
Did I skip that? I feel like I didn't go to that.
I hung out at it, but they had a super duper secret partner party at a bar there. And when I tried to go in, they literally put their hand in my chest and they're like, I don't think so.
Dude, that's the one where they had where Ammunition took the picture of those drinks just out on a table.
No, that was a different one, but that was the same year, but that was like the big ass
that wasn't TwitchCon?
That was TwitchCon. It was an outdoor party, but yeah, it was literally like 150 solo cups just sitting out on like a folding table.
Yeah, it was Roofie City. Yeah,
and then they had the Made Monster is a friend of mine who's a big music person in this industry. They had a gigantic like $500,000 DJ playing in the parking lot, and nobody knew who he was. And so he was just like,
that.
Yeah, they paid like 6 figures to get that guy.
Yeah.
And he's out there spinning his ass off, and like 3 guys are just out there like glow stick dancing in front of him like it's a high school dance.
Oh, was it like one of the like a turntablist, like one of like the world champion? Because like I know those guys are expensive as hell, but no one knows who they are.
Dylan Francis is worth more than the 3 of us combined. And
it was Dylan Francis.
Yeah.
Dylan playing out there?
Yeah, definitely not a nobody, but
yeah. Dylan Francis,
bro. It's so funny because he plays, and not only that, he plays some party at TwitchCon every year.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He's there every time.
He played that party, and there were like 5 guys just like drunk glow stick dancing in front of him, and I was like, "Is that Dylan Francis?" And it's such a weird party.
Holy frick, that's so funny.
So long story cut blissfully short is that I got into it through YouTube, and then I discovered Northern Lion and the Binding of Isaac, and that led me over to Twitch.
Okay.
2D side scroller. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So that was that I was actually talking about that earlier today. Was just that NL, and even though he's younger than me, they were more sophisticated fart and poop jokes that were being told. It wasn't like the 17-year-old fart and poop joke.
Oh, no, of course. Yeah.
Right. It was more highbrow. It was poop jokes with a monocle. And I was always convinced, because I was surrounded by all these like 19, like these kids are all like 26, 27, like Preston and Lachlan and all these guys are like actual famous stars and have multi-million-dollar homes. But at the time they were just like 19-year-old kids, and I was like 32. Yeah, like I felt very To Catch a Predator. Like we go out to have like dinner together, and it's like, oh, is that your dad? And I was like, no, I make content with them. So I was just convinced that I was like, there's no space or room on the internet for like the wizened old man reliving his glory days in front of a microphone.
Well, we were just saying before the podcast started, man, like you're a trailblazer, bro. Like you're the model for me and Trevor of like what it's going to look like when we're, in our creeping up on 40 and making content. So
yeah, that's I thank God I've got kind of a youthful energy, I guess. I'm like Twitch's cool uncle, I guess. I'm the Twitch partner you'd call if you wanted bailed out of jail, no questions asked, and a quiet drive home. Just like,
oh yeah, and a quiet drive.
I can't call mom, I can't call dad. I don't want to talk about it. Just come get me.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it at Thanksgiving. Just happy, come pick me up.
You got wisdom to share, man. That's
exactly.
Thank God, because this podcast needs wisdom shared. Because they don't listen to it otherwise.
Well, yeah.
At what point were you like, at what point did you stiff arm being an actor in the face and just say, you know what, this is it.
The housing market collapse in 2008. I felt lucky just to have my waiting job. If I'm being honest, like I was
looking. You were looking for something.
Yeah, like I was totally fine living paycheck to paycheck and being poor. Like being poor didn't bother me. I had gotten, like, I joke about it, but my wife and I had gotten really good at it. Like we lived within our means. We found joy in simple pleasures. We never overextended. But then at one point I was lined up to play a real juicy role in a theater with a director that I really liked, and my wife and I got pregnant, and the birth of my kid, my first son, was like right in the middle of opening week, and he was like, I've got to recast you. And I was like, oh you gotta be shitting me, like, for real? And he's like, yeah, I gotta recast you. And I was like, well, I'm done. Like I went home and got drunk on scotch. Like it turned out they did the show and everybody in that cast got nominated for like a local acting award except the guy who replaced me. And I was like, fuck this, I'm done. I was like, I give up. I went and did a year at graduate school for advertising. Like I was looking for any excuse to go do anything else. And while I was spinning my wheels, like I would have people when I was waiting tables that would say, well, Ryan, you're clearly very charismatic and you're very smart. So this isn't all there is to it, waiting tables in Richmond, Virginia. And I'd smile with like that lone tear down my cheek. Yeah. I was like, that's really all I got right now. I don't want you to hear the panic in my voice, but we do have chocolate cheesecake for dessert.
Do you see a way out? I don't, but the bathroom's over there.
Are you hiring? If you're not hiring, then no, I don't have any plan. So like I was doing content creation at a point in time, especially so when I was doing content creation on YouTube, there was no money in it. Mm-hmm. I was doing it as a creative outlet, and you'd hear stories about like, hey, I heard so-and-so got paid enough money to buy a whole new gaming PC just off of their YouTube content. And we were like, get the fuck out of here. No, you didn't. Yeah. Like, I heard CNNers made $135,000 last year on a CNN article. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. Adam's killing it out there.
Oh my God. On one article? What?
That was an article was, some Southern California kid named Adam Montoya makes $100,000 as content creator.
Video games.
Playing video games on CNN Finance. There was an article, and it was huge news because we were just like, oh my God, like that's validating that like, there might actually be a future in this.
And fast forward, 8 years, and they did the exact same article about Ninja, except the number was $500,000 a month.
Exactly.
Right. It was still way low.
The exact same article, except it was, Twitch streamer wipes ass with $100 bills. And it was like, well, it's more than hundreds, but yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's outstanding.
So the thing was, there was a pretty natural break because as you can imagine, like I transferred over to like PG Minecraft with all these COD players, and I couldn't hack it. Like I was just like, oh, this fucking well, we have to edit that out. Sorry guys, this son of a bitch. And right, I'm gonna be, like so.
I'm currently on that transfer, and it is hard.
It is, and I can't. I can't. Like I've learned so many new tricks as an old dog, but just like cleaning myself up to the point where I'm easily consumable by like a 13-year-old audience.
Yeah,
with their parents in the room. Is not going to happen. So I kind of got booted from the YouTube scene, like right as our YouTube channel that I co-founded with this kid was hitting like 1 million subs, and I was like, oh well, I'll just take a modest payout and I guess wander into the sunset and find a nice quiet place to die or something. that's my plan now. And I was like, I'll broadcast on Twitch. I was like, I don't like editing videos. I like the community cultivation of it more. And once again, I found myself in a spot where people would say, get to a con. Hey, what's your name? Taffy. What do you do? Oh, I stream on Twitch. And they go, oh. Because it was real blue collar. Like when you've got like Day 9 and you got like Dan's Gaming, everybody wanted to know how to be a Minecraft millionaire. And so if you were at like PAX and you walked in and you were just like, oh, I'm a content creator. Oh, really? What's your YouTube channel? You're like, oh, I stream on Twitch. You're like, oh, you're like a minimum wage content creator. Got it.
You're one of those.
Working those long hours.
You have hours.
Yeah.
You don't just wake up and make the video whenever you want.
You can't. I want to put a 12-hour day of video creation and then take the month of March off. It's like,
oh my god.
No, I show up every day and make the bacon, and they're like, oh, that must
Marcel
be big.
has said those same things. That exact thing you just said to me several times.
Yep. I for a brief period of time before I rolled off the YouTube stuff, I was trying to be like these kids like manager, but I didn't know anything about it. And I remember at one point I got like an email message from a guy that had a sponsorship deal. And I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, yeah, my video didn't go live on any of your clients' channels. And I was like, oh shit, for real? Ooh, let me call you right back. Cause it was like 4 figures per guy per video. And I was like, that's not insignificant. I'll be back in just a jiffy. And I got a hold of them and they're like, yeah, man, we're skiing up in Montreal and we were going to go home and knock that content out. But instead we're going to go to Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. Can you like smooth things over for us?
What?
We work hard, we play hard. We'll see you when we get back. And I was just like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
We work hard, we play hard. Like he's like dropping the phone and walking away from it as he's
how is this not like an MTV reality TV show, by the way? Like,
oh, it was
just YouTubers just doing whatever.
Dude, so some of the shit that I've seen is just like at one point I got invited to one of those Southern California streamer mansions. And it was like a $7-8 million mansion in Southern California. And I was like, holy shit, this is like got pillars and a gate and a big ass, swimming pool in the backyard and architecture. And this is insane.
Walls and doors and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like windows. It was a security guard. And I walked in the front door. There's no furniture. No furniture. They're out there in the backyard grilling burgers on like a decorative natural gas like stone sculpture. They've just got burgers like sitting on these decorative rocks. And I was like, bro, there is a grill right there. And they were just like, we don't know how to get it to work. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, well, there was a switch for the decorative fire pit thing, and so we're just cooking the burgers here. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go inside. And they're like, don't go down the hallway on the left. One of the toilets backed up, and there's raw sewage in the carpet in the hallway. And I was like, I'm going back to the Airbnb. Like, this is a nightmare. Every one of these kids is making 6 figures a month, and I'm walking through raw sewage to get to what's supposed to be my bedroom. Nah, I think rather not.
Dude, okay, so that's actually perfect because there's such a different. I was just thinking about Trevor's like, oh yeah, there should be a show on YouTubers because there's a different type of content creator now. There's like the TikTok style of content creator. I'm not saying they're all do TikTok, but it's like the TikTok style, and there's like the old guard of like the machinima content creator type of person. So
yeah,
if I'm starting off now, and given your advanced years and knowledge, what do you tell that person before they get the $1 million home? Like, what's the thing that you tell them to give them some sort of guidance? Your son, for instance, wants to be like, Dad, I want to be a content creator. What do you tell him?
And let's say for the okay, well, first of all, I say no because like because I love him.
Hey, you know what's funny? I'm like, I can't wait to make my kid a content creator and tell him to not play baseball.
No.
My son was
No.
just like, Dad, I'm going to be a streamer like you. And I was like, no, that's strike one. And he was like, well, all right, well, I'm going to be a DJ. And I was like, that's strike two, son.
Okay, dude, I feel personally attacked right now.
I want to be a MLB pitcher. Well,
What else? You want to tell me my wife's ugly now? Huh? You're beautiful, honey.
You're doing great, Trevor.
You're doing great.
You're doing great.
Anyway,
no, like let's say for the sake of argument that they actually have some like escape trajectory. Like, let's say that they've actually like they're seeing some followers. Like, dude, I joined a Facebook group of like aspiring content creators. At one point, I started I co-founded a music service that
Pretzel,
was yeah,
right?
I co-founded Pretzel.
Yeah.
And so I was there like going, okay, well, if there's 40 or 50,000 aspiring content creators in here, the first time one of them says like, what do you guys do for music? I would just hop on that and be like, hey, funny you should ask. I stayed in there now because that's my reality television. It's just all these people going like, I've been streaming for a week and I don't understand why I don't have viewers. I've only streamed twice for about a half hour each time. But at what point does Ninja show up with my check, you know?
yeah.
And so for argument's sake, let's say he's actually got some escape trajectory and he's got like, you know, let's say he gets partnered on his own.
Mm-hmm.
First things first is that I would tell him, you know, don't assume the money's always going to come, because I've seen too many dudes and like just flame out. I've seen too many dudes that like they hit that little bit of success and a little bit of money comes in and they just stop making content, and then they get surprised when the money stops coming in. And then when they come back, it's really transparent. Like, it's that real, like, oh, I can't help but notice that the cash ran out and the videos are starting up again, or the streams are starting up again.
It's so true.
It's tough to watch. And then like, I mean, ultimately, even with content creation, it's like, don't ever act like the money's always going to keep coming. Like first thing that I did, like Twitch signed me to a 2-year contract this last year. And
congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you. As far as I know, that's like, I'm the smallest channel that I can find that they've signed that up. But it's even at my size and at my rate, it's still kind of life-changing amounts of money.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. And not to be understated, security. It's security.
Right. It's job security.
That does not exist at all
in this industry at all. Yeah.
You're telling me that for 2 years, and chat, I know some of you viewers are in chat right now, so just earmuffs for a second. But for 2 years, I could not get a single bit or sub or cash tip and be totally fine.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Like, the first thing I did was I went and got a financial planner and was just like, I need an adult.
Love that.
Oh, like, dude. Hell yeah. That's smart.
So that's really like, you know, it's work with, like, I went to Boise State. So it's like, work with the chip on your shoulder, work with that like underdog mentality.
Don't get fancy.
Yeah. Don't be fancy. Show up, put in the work, be the kind of person that people like to work with. Never get too full of yourself, and be humble enough to realize that this shit can be ripped out of your hands at any second.
Exactly.
And as long as they did that, as long as I saw them putting that kind of attitude in it, and never like, hey, could you tell my manager that I'm going to St. Patrick's Day for in Ireland? And I just tell my sponsors I'll hit that shit this weekend, but I can't make it on, like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just show up and put in the work, and don't expect that anyone's going to hand you anything. Like, I've had some insane breaks that like even to be at this like weird blue collar middle class area that I'm in. Yeah. I've had to have insane breaks go my direction to be able to like buy a house and to be the lone breadwinner for a family of 4 and to have money left over at the end of the month because this is going okay, is like, you know, even with that, it's like you still have to hunker down and claw like you're terrified and hungry all at the same time. Like, you have to be ambitious and terrified and hungry and never get complacent or satisfied. That is such,
you're like speaking my language, because I feel like we're in similar boats here. You know, I'm not a Major League Baseball pitcher, so I don't really have that to fall back on, you know, for the New York Mets opening days in April. But I feel like I'm in a place where I'm a blue collar streamer.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the best way to put it, is like, I'm, you know, not Tim or Ninja or anything like that, but it's going well enough where I can like take care of my family and like think about having a child and not freak out about that, or you know what I mean? Like you can kind of like have the life that your parents wanted you to have, or encourage you to have, or something. Yeah. So it's yeah, you're right. It's like you're always in between this like your fear of losing it and like remaining humble and excited about the future. Nothing's ever assured. Like next year, it could be gone and you have to figure it out. I don't have millions to fall back on and be like, well, due to all my YouTube investments, I'm fine.
Yeah, I didn't like bank a shoe contract and just like, oh, well, I'll just live off my sponsorship money and whatever I make streaming, I'll just put away into retirement money or meme around with on the stock market. It's like
exactly
every check matters still.
Yeah, I can't fall back on like the Rochester Red Wings and like go play for them or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't have that option.
You know what? I'd rather punch myself continuously in the face until I eventually die than do what you just said. So
there's a part of me that wanted to invite you guys down for a Richmond Flying Squirrels game, but if Trevor ends up in a
I played in that bitch several times. Okay, I've been in that clubhouse many times.
Can I say, I have a fun baseball related story that I want to tell because I love the Flying Squirrels. Like, listen, I wouldn't want to play for them, but I love going to the games.
Of course not. Yeah.
So one year, I don't remember which team it was. Somebody in the Yankees organization in their farm league came down.
The Trenton Thunder.
Trenton Thunder. That's exactly right. The Trenton Thunder came down and pitched, and there was a pitcher on the staff named Mikey O'Brien that was their opening pitcher. And he comes down, one of the first pitches he throws, the Squirrels knock the shit out of it. It goes into left field, 550 feet, hits a car in the parking lot. And this drunk guy in front of me just starts yelling like, "Hey, Mikey, keep it out of the dirt, Mikey." And he just yells that repeatedly for like a half an hour. And I was like, well, I'm drunk, but I'm a funny heckler. So if I heckle better, I'll shut this guy up. So I heckled, and I felt like I was funny. Like the performer in me was just like, I feel kind of on. This is really good stuff. But I wasn't being mean spirited. But it was
of course not.
Right. It was stuff like it was like, hey, Mikey, I found you on Twitter. I followed you, and if you don't follow me back, I'm gonna take it real personally. And because it's a minor league park, I might as well be sitting 3 feet away from him because he can hear me. It's pin drop quiet in there.
Oh, sure.
Like, hey, Mikey, are you going to get in on this Facebook IPO? Because, like, this initial public offering looks good, and I don't know my financial guy. Like, I'm just saying this to him while he's pitching.
You're just having a conversation with him in a loud heckle voice.
Oh, you're the worst.
Like a heckle voice. Yeah.
I was having a loud, drunken conversation with Mikey O'Brien. And, like, the joke's on me because he came back to win. I didn't know he was from the area. His whole family was sitting around me. And this woman kept looking at me like she would dig my eyes out with a melon baller if she could. That's Mikey's mom, as it turns out. And so I was just like, okay, well, you know what? He's in the Yankees farm league. So if he wants to go play in the fucking Bronx, he'll need to have a tougher skin than like, hey, Mikey, I followed you on Twitter. So
yeah, for sure.
Right. So I didn't feel too bad about it. I didn't even swear because there were like kids around. And so I leave. I don't think about it again. Next summer comes around and I get a ding on my DMs. And it's Mikey O'Brien going, "Hey, man, I'm coming through Richmond to pitch against the Squirrels. Are you going to come out to heckle me again?"
Wow.
And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, for real?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, I don't want to come back and pitch in my hometown and not have my heckler there." And I was like, yeah, dude, I'll do it. And I came out and met him before the game and talked to him for a little bit. And he razzed me on, like, I threw out a first pitch there for video game day. And they're like, professional video gamer, Ryan Capps. And then I one-hopped it to the plate. And I was like, hey, I sit all day. It's great. Thank you.
That's crazy. He remembered you.
He remembered me.
That's
and
awesome.
He found that tweet like 3-4 years after the fact. He was like, oh my God. He was like, I would have cashed in my retirement to be sitting in the stands when you threw out the first pitch to be like, keep him out of the dirt, Taffy. So yeah, awesome. That's my only baseball story. I love sports, but like, you know, my glory days of playing sports stopped in like the mid 90s.
That's my favorite version of heckling, is the heckling that is just actual normal conversation or just like talking to someone in a heckle voice. Yeah. You just make anything sound obnoxious.
Hey, Mikey, I don't think that the pinstripes are flattering on your uniforms. What do you feel about them? I think they should go back to solid pant colors, Mikey.
See,
Hey,
so
Mikey,
with
what do you think of the national deficit and GDP of the global?
See, so with you, if you did that to me, not in the game, obviously, but if I'm warming up like in the bullpen, you're over the bullpen. I had a guy today, this old man, obviously Florida, and he like this guy was probably 10.5 billion years old, and he's yelling like, come on, you gotta keep it. You know, you're gonna play for the St. Lucie Mets. It's nice down here, but you're not close to the big leagues, like to our own team, right?
Yeah.
He's the only person yelling too, so he's like heckling us before anything's happened, and that's kind of just what playing for a New York team's like going to be like. And I totally get it. It wasn't being even mean spirited. He's just like, it was his thing. Like he felt like he was important.
That was his shtick.
Yeah. So what we do, what a great thing to do, and we're gonna have to do this in Philly too, is when people just won't let it go, like no matter if you don't give them anything, you give them names that's probably not their name, but based on where you are, there's a really good chance it actually is their name, their first name. So this guy was like, he called me Bubblegum because I was chewing gum before I warmed up, and then eventually he saw the back of my jersey. He's like, "Hey, Trevor, we're counting now. We're behind you, bro. We're behind you." And I just looked up and I go, "Thanks, Bruce." Like, just there's no way his name's Bruce, probably, but look at him. Everyone's like, "Yeah, he's probably named Bruce." That guy's probably named Bruce. So like,
appreciate you, Terrence.
Like up in the Northeast, you just gotta call everyone Anthony and Joey.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
Every single guy. Thanks, Tony.
Anthony,
appreciate it, dude. Say hi to Joey for me. And you just walk off. He's like, "What?"
Oh my God, he knows both our names.
He go, "How'd he know?"
So what? Trevor May knows who
How'd
we
he
are.
know? Yo, Ant, what'd he say? He said Joey. I heard Joey. And you're like, "Yeah, I'm talking to you, Judge Jersey." Like that's just kind of what there's types. So they love it though, because it's interaction. They were heckling you, and usually you make friends, just like you did.
I will say one of my most prized possessions is an audience member sent me a 2013 Mikey O'Brien Trenton Thunder minor league baseball card.
Whoa!
That's awesome.
And it lives in an esteemed place in my like little trophy collection back here. So
that's a cool ass story, man. That's one of the better
really
ones I've
cool.
ever heard. So
I was doing a bounty for MLB The Show 2020, and I told that story, and a guy was in the audience just randomly watching me play, and he was just like, "No shit, dude, I work with Mikey," and like he went and like verified my story and came back and goes, he says it's how you told it, and I was like, I wouldn't lie about that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, no offense to Mikey, but he was a minor league pitcher for the Thunder. Like,
yeah,
That's
awesome.
I didn't say David Justice. Like,
yeah, good point. Great point. I don't know. I that was an awesome story. I don't even know. Like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. But
no, then people underestimate me. That's it's like when your Uber driver
Constantly.
breaks out and tells you like once upon a time he was he was like a foreign emissary to a foreign country or something. You're like,
I used to be an ambassador. No,
right.
Yeah. Then you feign a headache and close your eyes and hope he doesn't talk to you anymore.
You're like, oh, that's a crazy story. And then you close your eyes and it's just like, I'm so tired from the flight. You just described 95% of my chat where they're just like, we're here out of obligation because someone has to take care of your wife and kids. And I'm like, oh, funny. Well, for breakfast, and they're like, we don't care. Just play the game.
That's hilarious. Just take care of your wife and kids.
I love Twitch chats and how unique they are to the streamer. I love that.
Dude, my chat goes hard.
I love that so much. So let's take it back to the life of the gamer. Now, I think you're gonna have a great answer to this question. You said you live in Richmond. You live in Richmond now, right?
Yeah, I'm in Richmond right now.
Virginia.
Yeah.
You lived in Philly for a long time.
Yep.
Especially when you were getting going on Modern Warfare 2 and all kinds of stuff. So what fast food restaurant? It doesn't have to be fast food. What's a food, a place that you go snag before you're about to do some gaming? I was Taco Bell. Everyone's got one. What's your go-to food?
So I was born in Dallas, and I grew up in North Texas. So I don't have Whataburger where I live, but I nearly missed a flight because I found out that the Houston airport had Whataburger in it, and I conceded to myself that I was going to miss my flight.
Wait!
You're like, I'll miss it.
Yeah,
wait.
I was like, I'll miss it. It's fine.
You were in a Houston airport and you almost missed your flight because of a Whataburger?
I conceded to myself that I was going to miss my flight. Like I heard them say boarding calls, gate A23 for Richmond, Virginia. And I was just like, I'll just fucking catch the next one.
Bro.
And the burger came out and I got it. Before? I mean, really that was it. I told myself, I was like, I'm just going to miss it. And then I got down there. And as I was walking up, I was expecting to see like a closed gate and an empty area. And I was like, I'm going to eat this. I'm gonna feel fat and tired. I'm gonna take a nap, and then I'm gonna call my wife and get yelled at and tell her that I'm coming home later. And then I got down there, and they were just like, there's a lot of people standing there, and I was like, what? I thought the flight for this gate boarded, and they're like, oh yeah, there was like a 25-minute delay, and I was like, oh sweet, I guess I get, I
guess I'll get on the flight.
I guess I'm making the flight home, and I don't.
By the way, I'm here.
Yeah, I just I don't have to tell anybody that story, but I had written it off. I was just like, dude, I may not get Whataburger again for like 2-3 years. I'll miss the flight. It's fine.
Bro, that's wild. I also almost missed a flight getting specifically Whataburger in a
real?
Houston airport.
You and I went to the same place because there's only one. I know where all the Whataburgers are in every airport in the United States.
That's freaking wild. I don't remember like the layout of this place necessarily, but I remember me and my wife were like so hungry. We're on our way home from a wedding. It's like back in 2015 or 2016. I can't remember. And we like, my arms are full. I have like my backpack, my luggage. I got like all the Whataburger I could possibly carry. So did she. And then I had my Apple Watch at the time. So whenever Apple Watch came out, Apple Watch starts ringing, and I hit it with my nose, like I poke it, and I'm like, "Hey mom, what's going on?" Because my parents were also at the gate. And I was like, what's going on? Like, they're boarding. And I was like, oh shit, we're in a different terminal. I was like, hold the plane. And she was like, they don't hold planes. And I was like, well, we're coming. And I got to run with just all this Whataburger. And I remember just like flopping the freaking drink around, and like the Pepsi was like coming down my hand. That's nuts. We made it.
I
made it.
Like I pimp strolled it. I was just like, dude, I'm gonna own the fact that I'm missing a flight for Whataburger right now.
Oh no, I home aloned it the whole way there.
So 100%. For me, it's like if I can get to it. I drove one time to a place in Southern Virginia that Yelp said had a Whataburger. And I ended up in like a rock quarry at like 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, this is where I die. But it says there's a Whataburger here. And like,
some old man comes up to you like, there was one.
Right. I was like, this is where I end up in like
the fire,
the hillbilly hack shop, and get dismembered. And part of me gets mailed back to my parents with like a cryptic note or something. But, it was worth it to try to find out if there was a Whataburger within a 1 hour drive of me. Jack in the Box is the same way. Like I feel like Jack in the Box is consistently always the second best option, no matter where you are in the country.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, Jack in the Box.
And there's no one in the line, so
yeah. So like ultimately, but the thing that I can get here that's like my go-to fast food is Panda Express.
I've never been to a Panda Express.
Hard pass. I love that. I'm gonna be honest. Hard. 100% the opposite of what I want. I'm not a huge Americanized Chinese food to begin with, and then you just add in the fact that it's like a fast. Oh, it's just awful to me. But each his own.
It's like, as fast food goes, like it's the option between like I can go get McDonald's, which I feel like I might as well just hit my hand with a hammer, and that'll be as good for me, or I can go get something that has some like fresh broccoli in it, and so
at least there's some veggies in there that you can identify.
I've been trying so hard to get Panda to sponsor my channel that PandaExpress.live goes to my channel. Like we started buying domain names and pointing it to my channel. So PandaExpress.live leads to
this guy's trying to take over our company. You're like,
trying. I'm trying. Like I've 100%. I've sent them like handwritten letters. I'm like a kid writing NASA when he's 8 years old, just like, hi, I'm trying so hard to get you to sponsor me. My parents said that if I wrote you a letter, they're like, how old are you, son? I'm like 41 in May.
I'm a big kid.
I'm a big boy now, though.
I know for a fact that Legion, Jordan Payton, did that exact same thing with Taco Bell, and eventually it worked.
Yeah, I'll keep leaning into it.
He got him eventually.
Miss 100% of the shots you don't take, I suppose.
Exactly.
By the way, McLaffyTaffy, as we speak, someone just gifted me a sub to your channel. So Pog, very exciting.
I've got spectacular emotes.
You're ooh, all right, hot dog. Yeah, your community seems awesome.
They once
just got a sub.
They once on a meme subbed every wrench that worked at Twitch in 36 hours. They got a list.
That's some psychopath level shit. I don't know about that.
They thought it like, so there's one guy out there that is the one of the highest sub gifters on all the planet, and he hangs out in my chat, and he's not even like necessarily the craziest person who hangs out in my chat, but he goes hard in the paint. and he was like, I have a lot of wrenches that hang out in chat, and I find that to be incredibly it's a huge compliment, because like if you're
100%.
gonna be at work all day and you know Twitch better than anyone, and you pick my channel to hang out in, like I don't know how to say thank you enough. Like it's like being a comedian's comedian. Like if you're doing a set, and a bunch of other people sit down in the audience, you're like, oh shit, okay,
exactly,
right.
yeah.
So I'd made mention. I was like, oh, I got a lot of staff members that hang out here, and that's real gratifying to me. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. And he said, yeah, well, what if every staff member was subbed here? And he's like, let's think of some. So we started doing like Pluto, and we started, trying to get like Aurelian, just like the top, like off the top of our head people. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to sub every wrench. Does anyone have a list? And he kind of committed to it, like hard committed to it. And he admitted later that he thought it would be like 100, 150. Like he's like, he'll do 100 subs. Like he'll, I don't know what he does for a living. He's like a Bond villain, but like whatever he does it well enough.
Yeah.
And so
we know a couple of those
probably
too.
a web designer.
Yeah. So like he was just like, yeah, you know what? Get me a list and I'll sub all the wrenches. And then it turned out the list was like 1,520 people. And I was like, bro, it is not too late to back down from this. And he was like, my word's my bond. And he went through and did every one of them one at a time.
Oh my God.
Cool. What's his name in chat? What's his
Champion 7B?
Super cool.
Champion 7B. And so he went and did every wrench in Twitch's directory. And
that's amazing.
It took 2 days at like 12-hour streams of him just going one at a time down this list. And then I announced it on Twitter. And some of like the esports wrenches got like aggressive with me, where I was like, hey, not often you get to be a first on Twitch, but I'm the first channel to have every staff member subbed to my channel simultaneously. And like an esports guy was like, who are you? I don't know you. I'm not subbed to you. And I was like, God damn, Billy, back it up. Like,
yes, you are. It was free.
You are. You don't have to re-up it, but
I don't know you.
Take a deep breath, and then he went back and down and like he screen capped. He's like, all right, I guess I am. And like that's what he put as like a response to me. He's like, I don't know you. I've never even been to your channel. And I was like, bro, hey, I didn't ask you to give me away at my wedding. I just said like, you have my emotes. Don't use them if you don't feel like it.
Oh my gosh. Love that. Billy.
Hey, so, 7B, we said champion 7B.
Yeah, 7B.
I got other list for you, 7B. If you just throw it in a DM, dude, I'll let you know. Some other lists.
I'll let you know.
That dude bought me a $1,300 pergola for my house.
I want to get to that later. Yeah, I want to ask about that for sure. So all right. So you've been in the game for a while. You have a community that's clearly full of boomers. What's the question you get asked the most that you've noticed out of your entire career? We want to know, what is the question?
What is your most common question? Everyone's got one.
Everyone's got a common question. What's yours?
Actually, I feel like so there's a lot of them that you get that it's like outside the community you get so you just play video games. And then it turns into the two-parter, which is like if you're explaining it to the people who are giving you your mortgage, like giving you your loan.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, right. Well, what about the people in chat?
The people in chat,
when they pop in, they're like, "Who's this guy?"
I don't know you. I mean, that's really it. Like the question I get more often than anything, because like our community is so tight knit. Like nobody ends up like it's like Albuquerque, New Mexico. Like you don't end up in Albuquerque on accident. Like you have to be going there on purpose.
Yeah.
So like that's my channel. It's like nobody ends up on like maybe front page time, but nobody ends up in my channel on accident for the most part. But when people do, generally speaking, like we had to boot a guy just the other day because he walked in and was just like, why this guy? And like I get a lot of that because I'm 40 years old. I'm rambling about shit that happened 20 years ago when I was in my prime.
Yeah.
And I'm playing like The Binding of Isaac and Hollow Knight and Hades and stuff like that.
Super popular games. Yeah.
Right. And they're putting me up against like Lupo. And they're just like, well, why this guy? Why are people in here? Like one guy was like, clearly he's view botting. And I was just like a guy said that to me like 4 days ago. It was like, there's no way this guy's carrying, 300 viewers on The Binding of Isaac. And I was like, oh, I have 7,000. Yeah, I was like, I got 7,000 hours in this game and it bought me a house. So yeah, we still play it from time to time.
That's just, it's the people who phrase it. And I like to bring this up to give it context mostly when people come in and be like, be like, how's this? Or they're like, oh, Major League Baseball player only has 200 viewers, like something like that. They'll say like as if they're walking into a room that you're in, but not addressing you, addressing everyone else and saying, what is this guy?
Right. Like stepping between you and the mic, and they're like, oh, I'm clearly saying what everyone else is thinking. And it's like, no, you're not, asshole. Like, you just took the mic from me.
Imagine that happening physically, and then everyone looking at that person like, has anyone ever liked that person? Has anyone ever agreed with that person?
That's the guy from this week. It was like he felt like he was putting voice to what everyone else must be thinking that was in there.
He's thinking it.
Yeah, because he came in and was just like, this fucking guy? No, he's view botting. There's no way. He's not that interesting. He's not handsome. He's certainly not young. And I was just like, hey, thanks, guy. That's
not young.
I hope whatever trauma made you like this gets resolved one day, because it is really, really soured you.
He's certainly not young. Look at him.
And that's, this guy, come on. He's going to die on screen in like a month. It's fine.
Someone get their dad off their stream. I guess.
Right. This is someone's punishment for not mowing the yard, is that their dad gets to broadcast on their Steam key or stream key for like 12 hours.
That's funny.
So yeah, that generally is it. Is that like, I try to make the explanation that I've just been around this scene for what feels like a jillion years now. And they're like, well, I don't know you. And I'm like, that's correct. You don't. Like, nobody really does, but I'm still here. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Very interesting. I think that's a question we're going to phase in a good number of times, because it's really interesting, because I'm noticing how wildly
they're all different
changes. Yeah. From time to time. Like, Paul, what's yours?
Why isn't Tim on?
Why isn't Tim on? And we all know that. I knew that.
Yep.
I could have guessed that 5 seconds in. I could say, right, like mine changes wildly, but it's always baseball related. Yesterday, why aren't you practicing? I have to say things like, how about the grown man on the screen who's played Major League Baseball for almost a decade knows exactly where he's supposed to be?
Yeah, why don't you trust me with my regimen?
Why aren't you at school?
They hit Zeke with that when he decided he was going to dip in during like COVID time. It was just like, aren't you supposed to be the running back for the Cowboys? And it's like, I'm sure he's still going to show up. Like, he's still going to go to work.
Is there a game now? Like,
right.
That was the funny thing. I go, why aren't you? He goes, why aren't you at practice? I go, why aren't you at school? He goes, it's 5. I go, same.
Likewise.
Same thing. Same reason.
You're the same shitty kid who thinks right now. Teachers live at school.
Also, please don't leave. I need your viewership.
Also, don't dip. I'm trying to break that 500 concurrent mark.
Stick around.
It's funny but sad. So next up, we have I mentioned the number 300 times already, but someone called in. We got a great question from the audience. So PM, without further ado, hit us with it. And I think Ryan, I think you're going to be a really good voice for this one. So I'm excited.
Okay.
It's gonna line up really well.
Hey guys, long time, first time. I have a question around putting on a stream in a business. I'm getting my ducks in a row to try to open a small business, comic book shop, tabletop games, all that good kind of stuff. My question is what you guys' thoughts are on like having a stream up while the store is open, just kind of like it's the radio, People walk in and they'll see Paul and Trevor playing Tarkov. Who knows? Just wanted to get your thoughts on that. If it's a good idea, bad idea, am I risking my own DMCA stuff? Who knows? Not me. All right, guys. Well, have a good one. Have a good show. And keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Hey, guys.
Love that guy.
That's it again. All right.
I love that guy.
Just to kind of clarify, do you have any? So I know I know a bunch of people actually who've started their own like actual physical brick and mortar businesses and actually kind of mixed in streaming somewhere.
Sure.
I think he was just saying like what I was imagining is like closed circuit television, just like in the corner, like
kind of, yeah.
Security, like a security camera. But like using streaming as a device to kind of broadcast to more people outside that can maybe come to your place. And I have a few ideas about it, but we'll throw it over to you guys first to start. Do you have any words of wisdom when you were trying to do that stuff? Because I think it is necessary to kind of, I think that something like that or having an online presence when you're opening something like like a place where people are going to congregate and play games together is important. But there's a lot of ways to go about it.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say that in my little experience with that there's a barcade in Syracuse. I mean, I think it's right up the alley of what the barcade does. I mean, it seems similar to what this guy's talking about as far as the tabletop games, but I think it's a great idea. I freaking love it. Yeah. I walked in this barcade and Cypher PK was up there, and a couple of smaller streamers I hadn't seen before. But it's honestly, you were doing that streamer so much help, because it's like, instead of opening a tab on their computer with one guy watching it, you open a tab and like say, hey, 40 people, glance over at this, see what you like about this. And it helps that person get a little more exposure. So I think it's a great idea, especially if you're a fan of the content creator themselves, get them a little more exposure. And I think it's going to draw people in, be like, what's this? Normalize streaming, normalize Twitch to people that I feel like it's not normal for yet. So I think it's a great idea. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You shouldn't shy away from it. So
be careful, because you're still responsible for everything that goes out on that stream. So if it is like a closed circuit TV camera, like,
oh, for sure, that's a good point.
You're in a situation where you still need to have like it's almost like if you went and did a bunch of television interviews, you'd have to get signed releases from people. Like I would set up, if it's a comic book store, say you also got like some Friday Night Magic or something like that going on, I would set up a room that's specifically like for opening packs, for playing board games, for having like Friday Night Magic, and then like anybody who goes past the velvet rope or goes through the drawn curtains or whatever consents, like you hereby consent to being on twitch.tv/Joe's comic shop. And then at that point, like, you know, set up a simple camera or two. Like, you obviously you don't have time to sit and do like hardcore production values and camera swaps and all that jazz, but you know, stick a couple mics around and post a webcam in the corner.
No, Paul. Actually, I think your version of the question, but it's interesting to answer both sides. So I'm answering it. I was thinking the same thing as Ryan. Just like if he wants to do his own stream to get his own shop out there, or if they're just having streams on in the show.
That's what I thought.
Like with TV.
No, that's great. Yeah.
I was like, gonna do that.
There's legal liability there. Yikes! I was like, I didn't think about that.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was thinking about like opening a brick and mortar place and then having a stream there. Yeah, but like you're saying, like having it on the way you would have on like the radio or the television.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
No, there's somebody in my chat mentioned that surprise up by the New York area. We've got a streamer friend named Anthony. You said that.
I was blowing you up earlier, Anthony.
You said that. And I was like, shit. I hope it wasn't him. But yeah, he is popular in a nearby bodega. They run his stream up in a corner and actually have named a sandwich after him. Like,
that's awesome.
They named a sandwich the Labrizzi, which is his last name, and is his stream channel. And so I love that idea. Like there's a I'd forgotten all about this. There is a viewer named Amy Monster who is a bar manager in Australia, and she has told me about nights that she's running the bar that it's like not particularly hopping, that she'll get drunk on the job and then put me up on like a 9-foot screen behind the DJ just to like piss him off. Like he'll be sitting there spinning to like, it's like a Dylan Francis at a Twitch concert. Yeah. He's streaming, like he's spinning, but there's 5 people there, and she'll put my stream up on like a 9-foot projector wall behind him. It's just like, fucking shut up. I want to watch this guy play Isaac, and throw back a shot. And so apparently, I've seen a lot of like really kind of like flattering and humbling, you know, like, hey, today I co-opted this big screen at a stadium I was working at, and Taffy's stream was up on it for a little while. And like, hey, I opened up my, I've like had professors that have taken over their projector boards, and the classes walked in. They're like, oh, sorry, you had me watching this kid play Hades. And anywhere that you can put a streamer, 100%. You know. Yeah, it's flattering, because it ends up, you have to explain it, and then you tell people what streaming is, and you're right, it normalizes streaming.
Absolutely. I think now that I'm thinking about it that way, that's a no-brainer. Like, if you like take it to a next level, like you said, especially if you're a place that's going to be tabletop games, you're going to sell Pokemon cards, all kinds of like trading cards, playing cards, right, and stuff too. Yeah. Having like pack opening streams up too would be super like relevant. Yeah. Like events, any sort of tournament you're having in that place, you can put up, building up to it, put up other streams. Like if you're doing a chess tournament, the chess Twitch is lit. Like, it's
oh my god, it's
crazy.
exploding!
It's
right
crazy.
now.
It's exploding. So there's so much opportunity to do that. Just like you said, just as like kind of background noise, because that's what we use. We have our side monitor question on this show too, for the same reason. So 100% do that. And then if you find opportunities, the things that you can stream yourself to in order to do that, I think it's something to explore. But again, like Ryan was saying earlier, be careful with that for sure. But in terms of like playing people's streams in a public place, I couldn't name you a person on the planet that would care if you played. They, oh no, you're showing my stream to more people. No,
that's Reginerd in chat is a Twitch employee, and he used to, back in the before times when he would go into work in San Francisco, he would come in and be like, "Yo, Taffy, you're up on the big board, like the 8x8 in the main lobby. You were one of those streams up there." But I was like, "Get the fuck out of here! That's awesome."
Yeah, Pluto gave me I can't remember who was up there the day of. I think it was Nick Merckx, but I got a tour in 18 of it, and I was like, I want to be on this wall someday. Yeah, and he's like, we can make that happen. I doubt it ever did, but I like to think that I was there someday when everyone.
I stream in the morning, and there's not a lot of English speaking competition, so it's
good point.
I hate being up in the morning, but I go to the vacuum. It's like there was nobody there to compete against it. Like there's no Northern Lion, no Cobalt Streak, no Lethal Frag, none of the variety casters that do American primetime. So I fucking hate it, but I wake up an hour before I really want to and roll out of bed and shower and get coffee and drag my happy ass in here and do the show because no streamer wants to do that time slot.
Exactly. I thought the same thing, and then I realized that Lupo streams all the time, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Unless you hit him with a trank dart and hide the body like Hitman, there's no way you're going to stream when Lupo's not streaming.
Exactly.
The only time to do it is in the middle of the day, that 4-hour window, which is you're competing with not Lupo, but literally
everybody else.
Exactly.
But shout out to the people that are like, I'm gonna go live at midnight and stream till 8 a.m.
Oh god, for them, man. People, man, those people are insane.
God bless.
They usually don't go for. I'm noticing that all the people that I met who were on that schedule are no longer on that schedule.
It's hard to, you can't sustain that. I mean, it's hard to sustain it. I should say. Yeah.
That's the worst thing is that like I had a buddy who would get big raids and he would hold the numbers, and then he would raid me in the morning, like we'd baton pass like guys at a factory, and but he would hand me like 800 sleeping people, and so like my viewership would jump up to like 1,500, and I'd be like, oh, this is great. I'd be like, hey everybody, how was the night stream? And like just my 7 regulars would be like, I don't think they're here.
Like, great, I slept great. I'm not you, Jimmy. God,
that's
every day.
Nate not in chat one time told the story of he fell asleep on his couch at like 7:00, and Lethal Frag hosted into a streamer named Brain for the nighttime shift, and then he fell asleep again, and he woke up with Twitch up on the big screen, and it was me who had been hosted by Brain. And I think there's a lot of that happens where you get those night shift individuals, and it's just people who fell asleep with their phone in their hand. And so it's like, it feels good, but at the same time, like I'm out here grinding out a living. So like, when you're just like, oh my God, we're one event away from a hype train. Who wants to scam train? And it's like, just Z's, just empty seats.
We need to convert you into money, people.
I need to massage you to live. Yeah, that's right.
No, all of you.
Just every once in a while. Just a little bit. Just throw it in a little bucket. Just throw it in there.
Well, we've come to our favorite point in the entire podcast. It's the ad read.
Get it, Paul.
Do it.
Quick break. Support for the MCA podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below the waist grooming. Big news. Well, it's old news now, but Manscaped has just released their cologne scent to help you feel good and smell good all over all the heckin' time. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs. Everyone knows Manscaped has the perfect package 3.0. If you don't, you've been under a rock or you've been off Instagram for a couple of months. For all of your below-the-waist grooming needs, this thing covers the whole package. That's why it's the perfect package. They didn't stop there. They gave you some cologne too, along with other accoutrements. With the same signature scent as all the Manscaped formulas, this cologne is the perfect complement to your collection. It's light, it's approachable, it's gentlemanly in all the right ways. Think of it as your wingman for the night to keep you fresh and ready for anything. Calming and inviting, the signature scent introduces a light citrus burst, settling into the anchoring notes of vetiver in a woodsy, masculine finish. This 50 milliliter spray cologne is hyperallergenic, cruelty-free, dye-free, paraben-free, murder-free, and 100% vegan. This beautifully designed glass bottle also makes a statement. It says, hey, I'm a man. I'm attractive. And I smell like the woods. Also, be sure to check out the Perfect Package 3.0, again, with all your essential needs for grooming down in that area for your dangly 2 bits or 3 bits, depending on what you got going on down there. The Lawnmower 3.0 is the trimmer of choice, as well as their crop formulations. Get your sack the scent that you want it to be. Yeah, I'm talking about your balls and ball deodorant, baby. Ball toner. Keep your testes your besties with these formulations. And now you can use Manscaped's refined cologne to complete the whole set. Go to MCA. Don't go there because that's not a real website. Go to manscaped.com and use code MCA at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. It's code MCA at manscaped.com for free shipping and 20% off your entire order, including that brand new cologne. Your ball sack is going to look up right in your eyes and say, hey, thanks, Daddy, for shaving me and making me smell like the woods.
Your beanbag will love you, dude. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dude, I got to get sponsors to start giving me just like straight up copy to read. That's so much better.
Yeah.
That always reminds me like
good.
back in the day with Mike and Mike, when one of them would just pick up the ad read copy and they just go and you're just like, all right, well, yeah, this is a box we got to check.
It's so funny though, because the copy sounds like it was, but like that is an amalgamation of like those words have been
organic
added
growth over time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like been read 10 times. So it looks nothing like it did before. But
We should just make our own ad read.
it is good. I mean, it's a skill. You can practice it. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Also, don't forget to sub to the YouTube and also follow the Twitch channel. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Do all those things. Thank you so much. All right. So I almost just called you Ryan. That was close. That'd have been weird.
Yeah.
That'd have
been awkward.
really weird. Taffy, hey. So I wanted to ask you specifically about this. The pergola is something I did want to ask about, but that's a little bit later. I kind of wanted a little bit more of serious tone. So
Sure.
obviously you've been in the game for a long time, very, very long time. You're ancient, which means your community has gone through a lot as well with you. You've kind of grown with them and they've gone through the life's ups and downs with you. So back in 2015, your wife was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of had to put your career on hold for a while, right? While you dealt with that diagnosis and figured out life at that point.
Yep.
But you also kind of simultaneously had to support your family and pay for these medical bills and kind of step on the gas a bit.
Yeah, it was. That was.
How did you balance? How did you decide? My question specifically, I guess, in that especially specific time of turmoil, how did you decide what to diversify? How did you choose content to make and put your hand in all these different pots?
Oh, I quit content creation literally overnight. It was I was off of it all for a year. I thought I was done.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the same time I was launching a music label.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually like now it's kind of funny if you go back and you see like old videos or old VODs, full head of hair. Well, fuller head of hair.
Yeah.
Jet black beard, 20, 30 pounds lighter. And then you see like a clip of like 11 months later. And it was like, my wife was diagnosed with cancer. We immediately went into chemo and radiation and like a whole year of that. And I was launching a company at the same time. And I just quit graduate school, like to commit to content creation. Like I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to be in advertising. I'm just going to go back to content creation, and we're just going to ill-advisedly just lean into it full bore. And I'm going to find something in there that I can call my own somewhere. I'm going to belong in that ecosystem somewhere. And yeah, literally on a Tuesday, I was playing like Fallout New Vegas. And then on a Wednesday, we got the diagnosis. And so like my Twitch stream for a year said like more Fallout New Vegas. And that was the title for like a year straight because I just thought I was done. There was a lot of crying on the office floor. There was a lot of like, as soon as she took the boys out to go like to school, I would just be like, all right, you guys have a good one. And then I would just have an existential breakdown in the middle of the office floor and get that all out and then sit back up. And it was just kind of like, whichever gator was closest to you in the swamp, like that's the one you fought.
Jeez,
and
man.
it was just like one foot in front of the other. We beat it, and it took a year. And this is the fun part of the story, is that we beat it, and everything ended up being good. We're 5 years in remission, which is the big milestone that they tell you is the one to look out for.
Heck yeah.
And again, I had convinced myself I was out of the game, and I would find some place to belong that was behind the scenes, and I'd build something that was a part of the support infrastructure and find some sort of service to provide or something. I was still going to go to the cons, and I was still going to go to the parties and all that kind of jazz, but I just wouldn't be there as a content creator anymore. And so we went to TwitchCon, the first TwitchCon in San Diego, and it was my buddy Knott and I starting up like Pretzel and the music label that was near 99 Lives. And I kind of accepted the anonymity of it, but it was fun to be around it. And I was standing there with a man named Rami Ishmael, who'd made a game called Nuclear Throne. And I was standing there with Danny Baranowski, who was the dude who did the music for The Binding of Isaac. And so I'm like, oh shit, look at this. I'm meeting all these people who made some of my favorite things. This is really, really cool. And a lot of these guys are like titans in the industry. This is neat. And so I was standing there, and this girl started walking up towards us, and she had that look on her face like she was going to get something signed by somebody. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. I'm standing around a bunch of people who are really well known. So she started walking over, and I was like, shit, I'm kind of like in this woman's path. All right, I'll move. I'll figure it out. And so I stepped left, and she stepped left. And then I stepped right, and she stepped right. And I was like, ma'am, if you'll just tell me which of these people you're trying to get to, I'll get out of your way. But I feel really pinned down right now. And she stopped for a second, and she goes, Taffy? And I went, get the fuck out of here. You know who I am. And she was just like, I met my boyfriend. And she like gestured him up. She's like, I met my boyfriend in your chat like 2 years ago. And he's like, hey, Taffy. And he just kind of bounded up. And I was like, I haven't streamed in a year. And they're like, we're still super happy to meet you. And like, I freaked out, and I hugged her for too long. And I gave her a bunch of merch that wasn't even mine. It was just shit I had collected from around the con. And I was like, I feel like you should have something. And I
Here,
just
take my swag bag.
I did. I just handed her everything I had collected from the floor. I was just like, it's all yours. Thank you for knowing who I was. And that actually became a tradition, is that like every year since then, she's found me on the con floor, and I've just signed something at random, like some League of Legends print or some Pokemon piece of art or some shirt that I'd been given by like a G Fuel or something. I was like, oh, here. And I signed it, and I give it to her and her boyfriend, and we post for photos. But at that point, Amber was out of the woods, and I turned to my buddy Nate, and he was just like, I'm just saying, I really did like your channel, and I really did like your content. I think maybe you should consider going back to it. And then I got back from San Diego, and I put that to my wife, and I was like, what do you think, baby? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And so I went live for the first time in a year. And when I opened up the dashboard, I still had 70 subs, like 68 subs that people had kept for a year. And I was like, what are you guys doing? And I was like, I told you guys I was probably done with content creation. And they said, well, it's the only way we knew how to support you. So we just kept our subs active.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you guys are fucking insane.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was, it wasn't glorious. It wasn't like a big, resounding, I didn't just jump up to the top of the category. It was a bunch of like, 75, 80 viewer streams for like a year. And we just kind of grounded up. And that number for subs went from, 70 to 100 to 200 to 250. And now we live in like the 900 range now. But, we've worked it back up over time. But,
that's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I've
been there ever since. I haven't taken like a job that I get like tax forms from an employer, like a W-2 job, since 2012. I've got a wall calendar page. That was the last day I worked like a legitimate table waiting job. Was August 18th, 2012.
The heckin' dream.
Yeah.
Except for all the taxes. That part's
Yeah, so that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
What's next? Tell us, what's your 10-year plan? We've established very clearly that is something that you think about daily. No, I'm just kidding. No, dude, that's amazing, man. That's as obstacles go and as trials go, man. That's about as trying as it gets. So all the props for you and your wife.
I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. And shout out to that community too. I mean, staying subbed.
Yeah, like this community is like it's like Mark 7. Like the first community that I had was more of a COD community that followed me over when the original YouTube channel changed over to like PG Minecraft. So like all the salty COD players followed me over. And frankly, when I started up again, there was a part of me that was like, I feel like I'm kind of fostering like a toxic, like the kind of place where new viewers aren't going to want to stay.
Yeah.
And so one day I had to like make the line in the sand and say that this is going to be a more generally inclusive. We're gonna take off a lot of the rough edges, and if you're not cool with that, then this just might not be the place for you anymore. So we shed a bunch of people. Like I lost viewers before I gained them back, but I gained back the kinds of people who it's a pretty diverse group, and we're like the Roman phalanx now. Like it's just shields locked together every morning. Like God help the troll that comes in there. I generally never get to see trolls. Like they're gone before I just see comment deleted, user banned.
Me too.
Yeah,
I actually hate it. I'm like, I sometimes I'm like, stop, let me engage this one. I want to engage this one, and they won't let me.
At least let me know what it was. And they're like, no, it'll just bring you down. Keep going. You're doing great. I'm like, oh, okay. Thanks.
Are you sure I can destroy this guy? I heckled this guy in the minor leagues once, and he
yeah. So it's the ultimately like occasionally I'm like, yeah, let me play with my food. And they're like, no, you keep going.
Not
bud.
this one. Then you see it, you're like, oh, and it actually does piss you off. You're like, damn it.
Right. I'm just like, if I had actually read that out loud, it 100% would have gotten under my skin. Good call, mods.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's crazy strong now. Like it's I like without getting like tacky about it, it's I like both with the support that I see, because I have sponsors I probably shouldn't have. I've worked with major brands. I've worked with mom and pops. Like Raid Shadow Legends loves me.
Oh yeah, shout out to Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, like like all these these big brands will work with me, and these little brands love me to death because we punch way outside of our weight class, and I probably move revenue comparable to like a 1,000 concurrent viewer stream, or like an active 1,000 viewer stream.
Yeah, because of the loyalty. Yeah, because of the
It's loyalty.
How active everybody is.
It's loyalty. It's activity. It's the fact that I took that earlier time slot, and I'm older, so I've got a bunch of viewers who are, they're gonna hate to hear this, but they're middle aged. And they have jobs, so they have disposable income, and they see. I like to think that they see a lot of the values that they hold close to them embodied in the stream, and so they support it. And so I like. I occasionally find myself on the receiving end of, hey, well, we should just, do this and go to that and get an Airbnb. And they're like, yeah, we're not all pulling down what you're pulling down with your audience. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's fair. My bad. Sorry.
Sorry.
They swing hard.
40-year-olds to watch
shoulders off slowly. He's like, yeah. I'm a sugar daddy.
Dude, I've been poor my whole life. I will happily take like a couple years of just like, oh my God, this is like a normal adult amount of money. This is the amount of money that I thought that I was going to be making when I was like, I need to pick a career in like 1996.
Yeah, you chose make believe.
Yeah, and instead I was just like, I'm gonna go play dress up and do professional make believe.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man. That's in terms of it's so weird the like dichotomy between. Like being in that 1,000 sub range, anywhere from, depending on the game, but your game doesn't fluctuate wildly either. And you feel like you can have conversations with almost everybody in chat too. Like you can get to people's questions. You can, because I realize that sometimes you get a big host, like, sometimes Tim will throw one and some, guy Lupo will throwing them over. And to be honest, of the big communities that have built amazing streams, or amazing communities, like Lupo has probably done one of the best jobs, even because you go and it's like chat's not moving crazy fast. There's not a lot of crap just to let go. They're very on top of it, and the people who are really loyal or really like into it are there all the time.
Yeah.
And but for a guy for as many viewers as he has to still have that, like it's just not, even if you have to be very deliberate. Like if you get to 30, 40,000, 50,000, like how do you without having 3,000 mods, like how?
That's
and
as
you don't
like
you
that's
just
as
ignore
much it's going to sound weird to say it, but that's like as much a nightmare for me as my channel going dormant, because dormant I could just walk away, but like at 50,000 concurrent viewers you're locked in and you don't control it anymore at that point. It controls you.
Its own.
100%. It does.
It can, unless you do stuff deliberately to make it.
Yeah, you've got to make some very precise, very predestined choices about how things are going to roll in your stream, or else it gets out of hand.
In all honesty, I'll give Tim props on it too, for being like, he could very easily be like, "Hey, babe, I'm going to stream for 14 hours a day," and just like ride it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he does the schedule.
Yeah, he
doesn't vary from it ever.
Yeah, he's disciplined, and to his credit, he still tries his best with that absolute shit show of a chat flying by at 1,000,000 miles an hour to go over there and like grab things to reference where, there's probably not a good chance he's going to see it, but he's still looking over and grabbing stuff. Whereas a lot of people at that size, like they go live and they're just like, "Give me your money. Talk to you guys when I say bye."
Yeah, if it's not a big donor or whatever, I'm just simply not gonna. But and to be honest, I gotta give those guys a little bit of leeway, a little bit on it too. Just say sometimes they just made the decision. They're like, guys, this is just simply the way it has to be because I can't.
Right, because like
mentally do this.
Tim even dealt with that in the beginning when he really hit his stride. Was that like the first 90 minutes of his stream was just thanking people for subs,
and then and then you make an adjustment. Yeah, man. But anyway, that's awesome, and I'm like, it's just it's something that I'm super proud too, because I feel like my mods and stuff have helped me so well that we got our people that I remember, and I know their stories, like I know their kids' names.
Yep,
they come in and talk to us, and Paul knows exactly who I'm talking about because it's the same person he knows probably who knows the kids' names because they say hi to us all the time. And we overlap. We all overlap. The people that play with each other are all overlap. It's a super cool situation where everyone gets all the other jokes from all the other channels, and it's a good place to be. Even if it's not, even if it's not 20,000 viewers, but it's a few hundred, and then hey. You never know. Exactly. The other four people aren't on at the same time. Hey, where are they at?
There's power in that smaller community ecosystem, though. I legitimately mean it when I say that I've had sponsors who have come to me and said, "What can your community do?" And I'm like, "If you got a halfway decent product, I'll move units and you watch us go, because we're flattered that you'll pump money into our community. Like we'll make a statement." And then I've had them go and do deals with somebody 10 times my size, move a fraction of the units because it rings hollow at that point. Because it's like, "Hey, viewer 772-773, buy this thing." And it's like, "No, I don't even sub to you." It's like, "All right, that's the spirit." And then they go back to the game.
That's the spirit.
Right. But I can rally the troops. Like, again, just like Trevor said, like, great mods, like strong architecture from the top down. And so I'm super fortunate as well to have people to lean on that take ownership of it too, and help me run a tight ship, which helps us. It's almost like we're overclocked as a community. We hit way harder than a 200 viewer channel should.
That's cool. That's so good. That's what you should aim for.
Yeah,
streamers, you should really aim for getting that community down, because that's what this thing does better than anything. Live streaming does it better than anything that's ever existed before. Any sort of content creation, you can be as close to your community as you've ever been able to be. So I would say focus on that, and you'll have a good time, and you'll enjoy it, and you'll meet people you enjoy, and you never know what you're going to be doing in a year, right? And you could meet someone who's like, "Yo, I have another job." Like sometimes you get over it. You do all kinds of stuff. I would have never met Paul without streaming. So
true.
Look at this, dude, and we are literally the same voice.
We're literally the same voice.
You crushed it. Nice.
Thank you.
I'm actually watching the stream so that I'm absolutely 100% sure which one of you is talking at any given time. I won't bullshit you.
Yeah. Well, you and literally everyone else. I've said literally too many times.
Oh yeah.
Stop it. You're not don't do that. All right. Well, game time. PM, you ready? We put it on PM's shoulders this week, and hopefully it's not math.
It's not math. I told
yeah.
Paul it was a good one, so
Ooh, okay.
I got a good one here. Let's
Probably
see. If the
not.
camera
All
works.
right.
Camera works. What's up? There we go. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put the game audio. Tell me if it's too loud. Is that good?
Pretty good.
Good.
That's good.
It's fine to me.
Cool. I can control it now.
Oh,
there we go.
now,
Spiked a little.
There we go. We're good.
There we
Okay,
go.
so Paul, I
Okay.
told you it was a good one. We're gonna do Marvel movie trivia.
Oh, easy. Clap, baby. Let's go.
I'm gonna
So
devastate this.
it's 30 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
We'll go through them pretty quickly, okay? Because we're what, an hour and 40 minutes into this. So.
You might want to cut that in half.
Um,
Jeez.
Okay, I'll cut it in half. All right, first one. Iron Man. This is the Iron Man movie. What song plays at the beginning of the movie? Is it, and these are multiple choice, so I'll give you guys the answers. Iron Man by Black Sabbath, Back in Black by AC/DC, Ordinary World by Duran Duran, or Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin.
Back in Black.
Back in Black.
Back in Black.
It is, in fact, Back in Black. There we go.
Back in Black.
Everyone got it right.
We're not even keeping score. We're just answering questions.
The Incredible Hulk. What does Tony tell Theodis Ross at the end of the film? That A, he wants to study the Hulk, that he knows about S.H.I.E.L.D., that they are putting together a team, or that he owes him money?
So Tony said this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He says, I think he says that he's putting together a team because he says, I hear you got an interesting problem. And then, what's his name comes back and says, yeah, you should talk.
Yep. Yeah. Bring the good team. 100%.
I have nothing else to go on.
But that's the Hulk. That's like the bastard child MCU movie that nobody's seen recently.
Yeah.
It is,
So
in fact,
good.
that answer.
Yeah.
I'm one of the only ones that likes it. I kind of like that movie. I'm weird. Go on.
I might have to go back and revisit it.
Not bad.
The
Incredible Hulk. With
Yeah.
Not Liv Tyler?
Liv Tyler and Ed Norton. That's
Tyler.
MCU.
The Ed Norton one, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one up, Iron Man 2. What fake name does Natasha use when she first meets Tony? Natalie Rushman, Natalie Romanoff, Nicole Rohan, or Naya Rabe?
It's Natalie Rushman.
The first one.
Jesus, you guys. Yes.
Dude, I got kids in a lockdown. I've seen these movies like 6 times this year.
I can't wait to just agree with McLaffyTaffy every single time.
Yeah, we're gonna have Taffy go last. Okay. Thor. What does Thor want another of when he's at dinner? A slice of pie, a piece of toast, a stack of pancakes, or a cup of coffee?
Cup of coffee.
It is, in fact, a cup of coffee.
All right, we're gonna have Trevor go first from now on.
Another!
Okay. Captain America, the First Avenger. Where does Peggy tell Steve she wants to meet him for a dance before he plunges into the ice? Is it the Stork Club, the Cotton Club, El Morocco, or the Copacabana? Trevor, you go first.
I'm going to guess the Copacabana.
The Stork Club.
I was actually going to say Copacabana as well, actually.
Paul and Trevor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is the Stork Club.
For club. Makes sense.
Taffy, you're up by 1, 5-4-4. So there we go. The Avengers. Okay, Natasha remarks to Clint that the Battle of New York is a lot like what? Their time in Budapest, their time in Prague, their time in Istanbul, or their time in Slovakia?
I know this one. Budapest.
You and I remember Budapest very differently.
Yes, in fact, Budapest. Yes.
Everyone says Budapest?
Budapest.
Alrighty, that is in fact correct. Okay, next one. That picture they used was hilarious. Iron Man 3. What is the name of the little boy Tony befriended while stranded? Harry, Henry, Harley, or Holden?
Oh, easy.
Trevor.
Oh, Henry, Harry.
Harry, Henry, Harley, or Holden?
Holden?
Mm-hmm.
That's your.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Paul?
Henry.
Okay.
It's Harley.
It is in fact Harley.
Son of a bitch! I understand watching them a lot. How are you retaining the information so well?
I live my like the interior of my brain is just it's a Family Guy compilation of pop culture clips. That's all that is happening here.
Imagine you just with one of those legal pads. Just
No, it's literally like I've managed to monetize the dipshit collection of pop culture references and interior monologue. Like I've made that a living. That's all I do now.
Great game, PM. Great game.
Oh, we're not done yet. We got 3 more. Let's go. Thor: The Dark World. Okay, where do Sif and Volstagg hide the Reality Stone at the end of the movie? On Vormir, in the Vault of Asgard, inside Sif's sword, or they give it to the Collector? Trevor, you go first.
Collector.
It's the
Give it to
collector. Yeah.
It is in fact the collector.
Because the whole other movie is about that.
Captain America Winter Soldier, what does the Winter Soldier say after Steve recognizes him for the first time? Is it, quote, who the hell is Bucky? Do I know you? He's gone. And or what did you say? Trevor?
It's what did you say?
Oh,
Right?
say him again.
Is
Really
that
quick?
your answer? Who the hell is Bucky? Do I know you? He's gone. Or what did you say?
It's either what did you say or do I know you? I think it's do I know you. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Final answer.
Who the hell is Bucky?
Who the hell is Bucky? Yep.
Who the hell is Bucky?
Taffy couldn't.
Two wrong answers.
He couldn't answer that fast enough. Who the hell is Bucky?
It's chewing through the inside of my skull, man. I was about to swallow this $600 microphone.
Alrighty, we'll finish up with this one. Guardians of the Galaxy. What were the 3 items Rocket claims he needs in order to escape from prison? Is it a security card, a fork, and an ankle monitor, a security band, a battery, or a prosthetic leg, a pair of binoculars, a detonator, and a prosthetic leg, or a knife, cable wires, and Peter's mixtape?
The second one you said. The prosthetic leg, security card, whatever the other thing was.
Second one was a security band, a battery, and a prosthetic leg.
Security band, battery, and a prosthetic leg.
As a security band, a prosthetic leg, and a freaking Cornix battery.
Yeah, the battery. Yeah, the what?
Okay,
what Taffy
well,
said.
yeah,
Yep.
it was. Yeah, I should give you like multiple dings for
I
that.
remember
That's
the
ridiculous.
battery. I remember the battery, and I know everyone remembers.
Yeah, Taffy swept that. So GG's.
Wow.
is-
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't do the next 15 because he's gonna know every one of them. Honestly, though, actually,
Hit me up
if you-
afterwards and give me the other 15.
yeah. If you want to just hammer him the 15, I want to see if he knows them.
Yeah. Let's do that. Heck it.
Should I do that? Okay.
Yeah, content.
1 second. Let me bring it back over here.
Rapid fire.
Okay. Avengers: Age of Ultron. What does the word or what word does Tony utter that makes Steve say language? Is it crap, asshole, shit, or idiot? If you get this, I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh, it's the easiest one.
Is it crap? It's crap, right?
It's asshole.
Asshole?
Asshole.
It's shit.
Is it shit?
What shit?
It's shit.
I honestly
Oh, I
shit.
thought I was asshole. Never mind. It's not the easiest one. Put the music back on.
Okay. Should we keep going, or are we
Yeah.
done here? That was the end of it.
No, I'm in. Let's go. Let's get us the rest
let
of
me
the way.
get
Fire it off,
music
come on.
back here. Let's do this. Okay. Ant-Man. What animal does Darren Cross unsuccessfully shrink? Is it mouse, sheep, duck, or hamster?
Sheep.
Jeez. Captain America: Civil War. Who isn't on the Iron Man team? Vision, Black Panther, Hawkeye, or Black Widow?
Black Panther.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Sorry. Yep. I was sitting there going
Doctor
through
Strange. What type of doctor is Stephen Strange? A neurosurgeon, a cardiothoracic surgeon. I don't even know if I said that right. A surgeon, trauma surgeon, or a plastic surgeon?
neurosurgeon.
There we go. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Finish this line. I'm blank, y'all. Superman, Peter Pan, Underdog, Mary Poppins. Gee, I didn't even get to say it. Spider-Man Homecoming. Who does Stan Lee appear as? A guy who Spider-Man helps cross the street, a neighbor who is disturbed by a car alarm, Peter's upstairs. Okay, all right, cool. There we go. Thor Ragnarok. What is Valkyrie's scrapper number? 316, 142, or 232?
232.
142.
Ooh.
Black Panther. What do Killmonger and was Clow? Close.
Claw.
Okay, weird way to say it. Steal
Close
from
is
the
Claw.
Museum of Great Britain. Just vibranium in a mask, a map of Wakanda, a map
Vibranium
of
in a
Wakanda, and vibranium. Okay, cool.
I knew that one.
Good job.
I worked on that.
Avengers: Infinity War. What elective class did Thor take on Asgard? Is it learning to speak Groot, hammer making?
Drew was an elective.
Okay. Ant-Man and the Wasps. Scott hid on an old Ant-Man suit underneath the trophy. What did the trophy say? World's greatest dad, world's greatest superhero, world's greatest aunt, or world's greatest grandma?
World's greatest grandma.
Captain Marvel, what is Carol's nickname for Monica? Is Sergeant Danger, Commander Monica, Lieutenant Trouble, or General Mo?
Lieutenant Trouble.
Avengers Endgame, what is Natasha's final line before she sacrifices herself on Vormir? Let me go, it's okay. Tell everyone I blank, and then Clint.
Let me go.
It's okay.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And they have the really sad photo of her too. It's depressing. Spider-Man: Far From Home. What necklace does Peter buy for MJ? A black Delilah necklace. Or Dahlia. Okay, I'm not even gonna. Cool. Good. Yeah, and that was the last one. So
wow.
There you go.
Wow.
You
what was that, 26 out of 30?
Yeah, I think you missed 3.
That was incredible.
That was incredible.
Round of freaking applause, dude. That was incredible. Well,
Good
that takes us to let's all just try to realize that this guy knows way too much. About
No, nobody's ever accused me of knowing way too much of anything.
Yeah, well, I first for everything. Going into our final segment before we take off for the week. It is our side monitor section. McLaffyTaffy, if you don't know, it's someone that we are enjoying. It's our opportunity to give a shout out for another content creator that we enjoy consuming their content, whether or not they are on the side monitor or if you're just watching with full intent, not being a lurker, don't know what that's like. You know, it's your opportunity to give a little love to someone you enjoy watching. Sure. So I will go first. I'll give you some time to think. Pick the one you want because I'm sure there are many. And feel free to throw a few names out there if you want. There's no reason it needs to be one. So I will start with someone you mentioned earlier in the show, which was completely unprompted and was pretty cool. KYR SP33DY, aka Speedy. He's been really nice to me on the Purge Minecraft server. He doesn't murder me regularly, and he said that my yoga studio was kind of cool, maybe. So that means a lot to me coming from if you haven't checked out his Minecraft content on that server and gone like to see their base, like Speedy and Deluxe and all those guys that built that thing, it's absolutely the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So but you know, he's been a homie. He's been really, really cool too. And obviously an OG in the YouTube game and amazing creator. So go check out KYR_SP33DY.
Awesome. My shout out today goes to actually one of my mods. Yeah. X Peppernickel X.
Pepper.
Yeah, she's great. I've been consuming more of her clips and stuff she's been putting on Twitter. I've been able to catch an actual stream. Yeah, she has a bit of an irregular schedule as of right now, but when I do get to pop in, it's fun, and she's actually fun to play with. We played together a couple times. Escape from Tarkov is her main game, but Pepper is awesome. Love Pepper. She's very inviting, very fun, very snarky, and always able to laugh at herself and everyone around her all the time. So she's great.
Right in.
Exactly. Check her out. X Pepper, PEPPERNICKELX. Got the 2 X's there, like it's 2003. Check her out. What do you got, Taffy?
Since a whole bunch of the conversation that we had centered around like the people who had my back when I came back, the first 3 content creators that really kind of rallied around me in that first year back, one of whom has been a guest, old Caliverse.
Kelly.
Yeah.
She's like a sister to me, so she's been here. So you guys have shouted her out. So that there's I just wanted to say that you know, much love in my heart for Bree. Dead Pine, who's a Tarkov streamer and a Minecraft streamer, spelled just how it sounds. Real nice, couple of real nice Jersey boys in this part.
Hey, Jersey boys.
We got Dead Pine, who does Tarkov and Minecraft, and then good old Anthony Labrizzi. Good old Anthony, LIBRIZZI.
Good old Anthony.
And he is a full-blown variety broadcaster who was like the absolute like apex predator for the culling when it was out. So you had like Grims and Kongfan and all those guys playing that game, and he was top of the heap and has long since transitioned to a full-time variety broadcaster, playing everything from like, you know, Persona 5 to Bloodborne to whatever strikes his fancy. So one of those people who taught me how to be funnier on Twitch. So
it's hard to do, being funny on Twitch.
Yeah, honestly.
My gosh.
He good at video. Like he taught me that it was important to try harder to be good at video games and also be engaging at the same time. And that's really the secret sauce. Like that's the hard part is, kicking the shit out of Bloodborne and being charismatic and coherently funny while you do it, so that it's like beating an incredibly difficult Soulsborne game is a secondary thing that just kind of happens in the background while you're still engaging chat and telling stories and, passing anecdotes and all that stuff.
Yeah. Paul, you totally know about being good at games.
Oh yeah, and also engaging stream at the same time. I mean,
Also,
we're freaking
do both things, obviously.
That's why we hover in the hundreds. It's because we're freaking nuts, dude.
Hovering in the hundreds. I'm gonna get a tattoo. This is hover in the hundreds.
Hover in the hundreds, dude.
Inside of my bicep.
There's a mediocrity with McLaffyTaffy.
There's a living there. I want to tell my child there's a living there in the hundreds.
There's manageable amounts of money in the middle class one.
You could probably lease a car in the hundreds. You could really do it.
Like credit card roulette at a fancy dinner with all the millionaires, but you can definitely
my
for there and back,
dude. Yeah, I 10-second story. I had that happen. I think Trevor might have even been there as well. And I was sitting next to Hex from Optic, and he was like, because he saw the look on my face, and they're like, "All right, we'll put your credit cards in." And I was like, "Mother of God!" Everyone got Wagyu beef, and he's like, "Hey, don't worry about it." And he just like threw me his extra credit card, and I was like, "Here you go, guys. Just throw that in the pile." And I like threw it in like it was mine. They're like, "Wow, Paul, nice." And I was like, "Yeah, thanks, Hex."
Hex is a total bro.
Hex, yeah, he Hex hooked me up. It was great.
What a guy.
What a guy. Great guy, that Hex. Well, before we head out, last thing, McLaffyTaffy, we'd like to know if you have anything that you would like to announce here. Any events, any streams, any merch, any new emotes, anything you're excited about coming up in the future. I want to give a shout out to.
My stream is constantly organically evolving, and we're always looking for projects. So like right now I've got new alerts being made by the guy who used to be our buddy Trey, used to be the guy who did animations for the Avalanche and the Nuggets, and now he did I think he did Courage's stuff.
Sweet,
nice.
So he does stuff for me. Like Jacksepticeye hit me with $1,000 tip for some content he was making the other day, and gave me the lead spot in a YouTube video because the alert is like this massive pink bomb that explodes and throws like flames and bits everywhere.
That's awesome.
And he was like, "Holy shit, that's insane!" And so like that's the thing is like if somebody's gonna spend $100 on my channel, I want them to get a feeling like they hit a jackpot on a video slot in Vegas. Like I want that that endorphin rush.
Yeah,
that comes with it.
It's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, we're rolling out stuff like that, and we're always adding in new emotes, and we've got our 6-year partnership anniversary coming up in March. So we're rolling out a shirt called Minor League Monday because my chat rolls so hard that the only time people with limited income can get on the bit board and the gifted sub board is when it clicks over on Monday. So if you got like $5 and you want to be on the top of the chart, you got to hit it on Minor League Monday.
Wow.
So we've got a shirt like a baseball shirt coming out that says Minor League Monday.
Sweet.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff. We're looking at building some fun like ancillary side projects, and of course, if you stream and need music, use Pretzel. You would be making me very happy. So
fantastic, man.
I got my finger in a lot of pies, so I'm always looking for something to keep me.
That's a weird analogy. I loved it though.
I got strong humor energy, baby. I introduced myself to you and said I'm like a dirty penny. I always keep showing up, and you're like, dude, that's like ripped from an 80s action film. Like nobody knows what pennies are anymore.
No one knows what that even means.
Yeah.
I'm like a government bond, sweetie. I'm good.
That's right. I'm like a war bond. I just
I'm
appreciate
like a war. It's like a war bond.
I'm like an old pansy Shrek.
Way back in Desert Storm when the country needed money. It went to its citizens.
I'm out there hustling like somebody picking aluminum out of the dump to build our fighter planes to go take down the Krauts.
Where do you think those rivets came from?
I'm like an M1 Grand, honey. I never let you down.
P-52 Mustang, top of my class.
Okay.
This is all day.
We had way too many of those.
To our listeners who stuck around for the World War II jokes, thank you so much for listening. And don't forget that if you'd like to be featured on the podcast, there's 2 ways to do it. Get the review of the week, which I'm going to read momentarily. And there's also the number. What's the number, Trevor?
The number is 503-908-9526. Again, that's 503-908-9526.
Throw your questions there. You can leave a voicemail or you can text us either way, and you might have your question read to our guest and out loud on the next podcast. Our review of the week comes from Brian Goodwin. It says, thank you for continuing to do the podcast. I'm not sure how many people listen. We aren't either. But I love it and listen to it every time you post. I don't know why you put that in there, Brian. I spent a lot of time in my car with both my jobs and always have your podcast playing. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Brian, for leaving a actual legitimate freaking review and nice words. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
That's very good. Brian Goodwin. Shout out to Brian. Guys, you've been listening to the May Contain Action podcast. Listen to all the major carriers, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. Watch the VOD on YouTube as well. Leave a thumbs up or 5 stars or review where you can, and your review may be read on the next episode. Go follow us everywhere at May Contain Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. At May Contain Action on TikTok now, because we're freaking getting dance moves and freaking doing the Busset challenge.
Literally
and whatnot.
never happened, but yeah.
I've never done any of that. I do want to do a Busset challenge though.
Oh, yeah.
And quickly before we go, Ryan, plug your stuff. Where can people find you?
How dare you?
Oh!
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Yes. We call this semi-viral.
Yeah.
Hey, they add up. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Middle class built this country. All right. Fantastic.
Well, yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Go for it. No.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I ddn't mention once again, because last time we're like, hey, we're taking a week off. We got some stuff in the works. Those things are still in the works. Actually, there's so much in the works that you're going to know about them in 8 days. Oh, what? How many days? 8 days.
Oh gosh, that's not much time.
Yeah, it's not much time, but we're cooking with gas. You always thought this episode. By the way, we just 2 hours. We just went over 2 hours, first ever episode. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the people that really love to listen to the show really enjoy it. Thank you for hanging out for as long as you did. McLaffyTaffy, we appreciate you. And keep your freaking eyes on Twitter, because you're a lot of cool stuff to announce in the future. And we're not going to tell you more than that. All right.
Nope. All right, guys. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have a good night, everybody. See you next time.
Night.